Episode 5, I'll be going through my outline code for interactable objects. So anything that's interactable will have this bright red outline on. I will link in the description the video I watched to get the outline material, because I can't take any credit for the actual material itself. But that video will explain how to create the material and add it to the post-process volume. And then this video will go through the code for highlighting interactable objects as you look at them. So I'll quickly show you in action. There we are. And like I say, it's exaggerated for the video. You can change the color, you can change the thickness and everything on the line very easily. So yeah, when it's highlighted, we can pick it up. When it's not, it's too far away. Go into the code. First thing in our interactive interface, I've added two more, a start look and an end look. So when the start look fires, the object will have the outline on. When the end look fires, it will remove that outline. And then in the master interactable, this is pretty much all the code it needs. So when the start look fires, we set render custom depth to on the static mesh, and when the end look fires, we turn it off again. And that turns on that outline, that turns off the outline. The only thing we need to do in here is the class defaults tags. I've added an element and called it interactable, and we use that to filter out what we are trying to put the outline on and what we are trying to send this message to. Other than that, all the other work is done in the third person character. So I tried a couple of different methods here. I settled on a line trace on the event tick. I do try and avoid the event tick, but I couldn't figure out another way of doing this. What I did try and do was a capsule collision on my camera. So when I was going to set this up so when this collision, when it overlapped with something, it would send the message to say, kind of have that outline, and when it ended that overlap, it would remove that outline. And I got it to kind of work, but this collision only seems to kind of show hit events when the character's moving or the object is moving. When neither is moving, so when the character was standing still and looking at the item, it didn't do anything at all. So I looked through all the settings to see if I could find something that would change that. And I kind of thought that if I changed this so it was constantly looking to see if it had been overlapped, then surely that's asking this to run on the tick. So then I just decided, well, let's go for it then. We'll just use that tick. So to start with, we're doing the same line trace, copy and paste it from our pickup code. It's all the same there. And what we'll do eventually is merge the two, because there's no point having two lots of line traces that are doing the same thing effectively. And to pick things up, it's only two extra nodes. So I will merge the two somehow. So we do the line trace, we're doing it on the event tick, so that's constantly firing out. The first thing we do is we check if the hit actor is valid. If it's not valid, it means we just fire into the void, not actually hitting anything at all. So we don't really want to do anything if that's happening. Sorry, what we do actually, if that isn't valid, the hit actor, what we could have been doing beforehand, we could have hit an actor. There could be something highlighted, but now we've looked away and we're hitting nothing. So we run down here and we check if actor being looked at is valid. If there's something that we were looking at, which is set up here, I'll show you that in a second. And if we were looking at something, we send the end look message and then we empty this actor being looked at. If we weren't looking at something, if it ends up down here, that means we are just firing into the void and there's nothing in the world highlighted. So hit actor is valid, we've hit something. We're going to check if what we've hit has that tag that we added to the master interactable. And because we put it in the master, that will all the child blueprints from that will inherit this tag. If we haven't hit something with the master interactable, well, that could mean the same as here. So it could mean that we have looked at something, and now we've looked away and we've fired into the void. So it's going to go down here and check if we have hit something previously, and if we have, do the same. So we've hit something. We've found out that it's got the interactable tag. True. And we're going to come over here and do another check. Now, is the actor being looked at valid? Does it have something in? Have we previously looked at something? And if we have previously looked at it, we're going to check, does it have the same name as the thing we're hitting with our line trace? And if it does have the same name, it means we're still looking at the same object. So we don't do anything. We've already highlighted that object. We don't need to do anything else with it. So quickly go through that again. We're checking if the actor being looked at is valid, and we're checking if it has the same name as the thing we're hitting. If it does, we do nothing. It's already highlighted. If it doesn't have the same name as the thing we're hitting, it means that we've looked at an item, we've highlighted it, and then we've looked at another item with no space in between. They're kind of gathered up together. So we want to remove that that previous item's outline, and we want to remove it from the actor being looked at. So again, we go down here and do this thing. If we, so yeah, go back to the start. We've hit an item, it's valid, it's interactable, and the actor being looked at is not valid, so we haven't previously looked at something. We're going to set the actor being looked at. That's set from the hit results from the line trace, and then we're going to send that start look message. So as you can see, there's only one way to send the start look message. So if you hit an interactable, if you've not hit any other interactables before, then you send that start look message. Otherwise, it's got to clear the previous ones you've looked at before it fires this one off again. I hope that makes sense. So I'll go from the beginning. Line trace, and I'll stop for a second on these so you can pause the video if you want to have a look at them. Break the hit results. Check if we've looked at it before. Check if we are looking at it. And then fire those messages. And that is it. It took me far longer than it should have to make this code. But I've tested it multiple times and tweaked it, so I was getting some errors to start with. So that's why some of those invalid checks are there. Is valid checks are there to stop some errors, some compile errors, because it was trying to do things with stuff that wasn't valid, wasn't existing. So for the next video, I'm getting to a little bit of a dead end with the inventory at the moment because I've got no objects I can do anything with. So I'm going to add some weapons in. I'm going to add some proper ammo in. I'm going to add like a stats screen here. So when you click on it, you don't just get the description anymore. If it's a weapon, it'll give you like the fire rate, the ammo type, and the clip size, and all that, range and things. So what I'll do with the next one, I'll be importing some outside assets. The ones I've imported were from the asset store, but I don't think they're on there anymore. They were free when I got them, but I can't find them now. So I'll link some in the description that you can use. So if you are following along, you've got something to mess with quite easily. So right, thanks for watching. See you next time.